What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of Wavelengths. I'm Stephen Heimers, Iestyn Harris, the one and only Wayne Diesel, Garrett Cowdrey with me. We're going to start today with a little NBA talk. Wayne, I want to ask you the first question. New York Knicks getting hot at the right time. Boston Celtics right there with them. Los Angeles Lakers, Brooklyn Nets kind of on a little decline because of injuries. What's the state of the league looking like?
Uh, well, so far my predictions look like they both on track. I thought I wasn't really that high on Brooklyn, no way. Not because the only health concerns I had was really Kyrie, really, but I wasn't really big on the Nets anyway because number one, they're kind of finessing. I wasn't sure, and they was kind of thin down low. This was before they got Blake Griffin and LaMarcus, so I just didn't see who they were stopping down low. And as we saw, they're like what 25th, 5th, 6th in defensive rating. That ain't no good. Usually, most top 10 championship teams, there's some at least in the top 10. Some are top 4, depending on the year. But so I'm trying to figure out who they gonna stop. And I'm sorry, LaMarcus Aldridge didn't want no parts of Joel Embiid. If you got a heart problem, Joel Embiid is not the guy you want to see. You don't want to see Anthony Davis. You definitely don't want to see LeBron if you got an irregular heartbeat. That is not good for your heart. But so I was just wondering who they was gonna be stopping. And now that they getting hurt, I mean everybody's kind of getting hurt. But the thing about it, I don't think the injuries hurt Brooklyn as much as you would think though. Because I got a theory that the ball moves better with all of them together. Now you need one or two. Now they're not getting out regardless, but you need one or two because you just kind of depending on Kyrie, KD, or Harden to do something. Okay, cool. Let them do their thing. But now that they aren't, it forces them to kind of work harder on offense. Because let's be honest, this you're not looking at Joe Harris as hard if you got KD there. You see what I mean? It takes a whole lot of pressure off them. So now the ball's moving more. So I'm not sure if they was just gonna be what we was gonna be thinking anyway with all of them together. And so far as the Knicks, I mean, I told y'all.
Yeah,
So,
I think you may be the one and only person who actually called this Knicks research, and you were right. I mean, they've been on an absolute tear lately. It's kind of it's exciting. It's great for the NBA when New York's winning games, but above everything else, they're just. I mean, I think they just won their 7th in a row, right?
7. You're right, 7.
Yeah, they just went 7 in a row. They're a half game up on the Celtics now in the standings. I mean, it's actually fun to watch Knicks basketball. It's actually fun. I mean, I've been a Bills fan for a long time, and it's hard not to compare it to we had an 18-year playoff drought there. It felt like when we finally started winning games again, it felt like the spirit of the game was back. It felt good. It's actually fun to watch, and I'm enjoying myself. I can sit down and watch any Knicks game and know that at the very worst, I'm going to be entertained.
For sure.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
totally agree. And as X and I the other day had a very one-sided conversation in his favor, Julius Randle is doing everything he can to get this team in the playoffs. He doesn't want to be a play-in champion. Julius Randle, like it or not, doing everything he can. Like I just said, the Knicks are a blast to watch night in and night out. And like you said, even if they don't win, you're going to get a team that plays with as much effort as possible. And if they don't win, they're going to be within 10 points. They very rarely are getting blown out. And especially during this winning streak, everybody's contributing. And this is very much an all hands on deck squad.
Yeah.
And
But
Boston,
I think
too.
Boston, here's my thing. I've said it, and everybody keeps. I mean, nobody got with it in, but I think I would have traded Jaylen Brown. I would have, because I don't think Jaylen Brown and Jason can win together. Now you keep Jason, but just those two together. See, tell y'all something. When not having something can be the same thing as not having too much. You know what I mean? It's not good to have no shot creators, but if you got too many shot creators, that can be just as detrimental. Because what it is, you're creating shots for your own self, but not really no other people. And so as a result is, if you got Jason doing this thing, hot dog and doo-wop in the show, stop and doing that thing like he can, you're doing it for yourself. But what does that leave Jaylen Brown? And Jaylen Brown, he'll go out there and do the same thing. Okay, well, how are y'all working together? Because if we looking, there was a time where Boston was really the team to beat in the East. And now we've seen teams pass them by. Trust the process Sixers, they sucked for a good, 6-7 years that was? And now they right there at the top of the East. Brooklyn got good overnight. And Milwaukee just keep trucking right along. And don't look now, but the Heat just made the finals. So we're looking at Boston. I feel like and now the Knicks trying to make some noise, knock on the door. So I feel like this duo, yeah, they're young, but I think they kind of hit their peak kind of early. You got to really do something. So I think that's some of that's on Danny Ainge too, because you watching all these teams and he's passed you by. And I'm just like, well, wait a minute, what are you doing? Teams that were nothing are we talking about now?
Yeah, the lack of moves by Danny Ainge is just it's been something that's really costing the franchise over the past 2 seasons, but it's particularly evident now. I mean, it is sort of we actually have holes in the roster. We're not just it's not like a lack of bench depth is what's killing us. It's we've got no room at big man. We've got serious issues with finding the right scheme for the right scenario with the guys on the field. We have too many guys who specialize in the same thing. And we need to diversify if we want to make a deep playoff run.
And what the hell are y'all doing with Evan Fournier? Is doing laundry or what? Because I ain't seen him.
Okay. He came out in his first game for us and shot like 0 of 12, got 0 points, like 2 boards and an assist in like 25 minutes. It was a disaster. Next game he was also crap, and then he had like a 3-game stretch where he just could not miss. And then he went into the health and safety protocols, and I don't know what to expect when he comes back out, because he was really hitting his stride and he was hitting it right at the right time. And I don't know if this is going to impact his growth and his involvement with the team, because he was building good chemistry and making it work. And I don't know if he's going to have that, because it's like he came, he went, and now he's coming back again.
I feel like Boston's problem is every single great player on their roster, their best attribute is their scoring. Even when you trade for Fournier, he's known as a come off the bench and can give you 20 on any night. Kemba Walker's your point guard. He doesn't offer much outside of scoring. And then obviously Brown and Tatum, they don't have a good rebounder. They don't have a good defender or a good passer. I feel like if they really wanted to make a deep run, they need somebody. Like, who's going to Game 7 block Iguodala off the backboard on that team? No one. They just don't have that. All they got is scores.
I really wanted to see them make a pass at Aaron Gordon. That's what I really wanted that for Boston, but they wanted Fournier.
Yeah, I was rooting for us to get Aaron Gordon. I mean, they shot that hope in the leg pretty early on, but I'll never forget to say that a team of 10 Marcus Smarts would absolutely win the finals. Oh. We just need a few more Marcus Smarts, and then we'll get there. I mean, I can imagine that as a fan of a team without Marcus Smart, you're gonna hate him, loathe him. He's gonna be the most irritating man you've ever seen. But as a Celtics fan, there's no one I would rather have on my team. He's depth, he's defense, he shoots well when he needs to. He's a bit streaky at times, but I mean, can you take the good with the bad? I think that he's the exact kind of player that we need more of, but there is only one of him, and a guy like Aaron Gordon would bring sort of similar energy, do a lot of the same stuff coming off the bench if he needed to. Maybe put him in the starting lineup. We do have a lot of scorers, but we have a lot of the similar problems to the Nets. I mean, neither team's staying healthy. Both teams got plenty of scorers. There may be a serious gap in talent right there. I'm not saying that we are, KD, Harden, and Kyrie all at once, but the problems are reflected.
I mean, I just look at what Gordon's done for Denver. I mean, he came in and didn't they rattle off like 9 straight wins, something like that. As soon as he was on the team, he was getting passes he never got in Orlando. Nobody on that team was as good a passer as Jokic. And, that would have been a huge move for Boston. That would have at least made sure that they were going to be in the playoffs and probably have a home court advantage in that first round. And I mean, they didn't get it. And it shows that when players like Aaron Gordon get into the right system, you're able to do things like that. And I mean, Jamal Murray going down hurt the Nuggets, but them adding Gordon, I think, made them scary good, especially when Murray gets healthy again.
I mean, I ain't got nothing for Denver. I ain't got nothing. I wasn't sold on Denver before Aaron, and I like Aaron Gordon a lot. I love me some Casper Jones. Aaron Gordon is that guy. I like him a lot. I'm glad he got out of Orlando, but Denver, As soon as he went to Denver, the first thing I was like, why did he have to go there? Why did he have to go there? Look, I cannot unsee Denver going down 3-1 twice in the same playoffs. If you go down 3-1 twice in the same playoff year, I don't have nothing for you. And of course, they got buzzsawed by the Lakers. But I think they was riding a good lucky wave. So I'm not really on Denver like that. I'm just really not.
I do want to keep it in the West Coast now. Number 9 seed Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, it always seems like we forgot about him. Then he makes 73s in 10 games and reemerges in the MVP race after having a very solid season so far.
Who?
Curry.
Steph.
I'm not saying he's going to win, but he's in top 5 now.
I don't know. I do
agree
think
with
that maybe
Top
you
5,
need to be winning games to be deserving of the MVP. I mean, you need to bring a significant enough value to your team that they wouldn't be in the position they're in without you. And being the different, Steph Curry, maybe the difference between the Warriors being the 15 and the 9 seed, but they are still the 9 seed. I mean, they may be worse than the Timberwolves without him, but I mean, they're not better than the Grizzlies or the Mavs or the Blazers with him. So Steph Curry changes the way the game's played sometimes, and I can't deny his impact on NBA history, and I can't deny how hot a streak he's having. I think he's 11 straight games with 30+ points right now, and counting. But MVP, I think that he'll always deserve a mention in the conversation just for what he does for his team, but unless his team's top 3 seed, he doesn't really have a shot.
Yeah, that was my problem with Damian Lillard last year. And Steph Curry's better than Damian Lillard. So if Damian Lillard gets votes, Steph Curry deserves a couple of votes. He better not win. I mean, there's too many great players that are on winning teams. But I feel like top 5 is fair. I mean, it should be 4 or 5, maybe 6 or 7. But you can't deny what he's doing. There's very few players. You can name all the players on one hand that have had a greater impact on the game than Steph Curry, but he shouldn't win MVP. He should get votes, but I mean, there's way more competent and capable players on winning teams that deserve it. But
yeah, I'm not saying he's going to win the whole thing, but after this incredible stretch he's been on for a week and a half, he's definitely going to get some love just because of a recency bias, and now propelling this team into almost securing a play-in spot, especially now being the 9 seed. So I think what he's doing, we've just forgotten about, especially last year. He didn't play much. This year, he just did the usual thing, but they weren't the Golden State Warriors of the KD years, and even the year before KD got there with the 73 wins. So we took him for granted, but now he's back, and I think we're all just appreciating him this time around.
Yeah, well, you can appreciate somebody and not put them in the MVP. I mean, because the thing, and you said it. You said it right there. This is a nice streak. There's a difference between having a nice, but here's the difference. Steph is having a nice streak. Joker's having a nice season. And
yeah, I'm not saying he's going to win. Jokic is going to win. But if we're talking about just MVP votes for the sake of having a conversation, Steph Curry is probably going to get more than Paul George, who's had an also solid season.
Nobody's talking about Giannis. I mean, that's just because you're not allowed to win 3 MVPs. It just goes against what the media wants, But Giannis he's amazing, and he's just as good as he was last year. And every single year he's won MVP. But they're going to give it to Jokic. They might give it to Embiid. They're not going to give it to Giannis. I mean, you can book that right now. No matter how good he plays, it doesn't matter if he scores 50 in every single game for the rest of the season. The media won't let it go to Giannis. They'll keep talking about somebody who hasn't won it yet, and that's just how it works.
I'd like to see Joel Embiid get it. Me personally, I would like to see that. Joker's cool too, and I know my dog George would love to see that. That would just tickle him pink. But I'd give it to Embiid myself. Now, actually, but if I wasn't gonna give it to Embiid, believe it or not, my guy, it'd be Chris Paul. I would give it to Chris Paul because look, he's got the Suns winning. He hadn't been hurt. He's impacting the team. He's getting points. Now, he ain't averaging 30 or nothing, but, he's made everything. I would give it to Chris Paul if I wasn't going to give it to Embiid. That's actually my number 2 guy.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say you're probably 100% right. I mean, it's supposed to be the most valuable player, not the most valuable player who happens to score the most points. I mean, This isn't a scoring title. and he's had a bigger impact on the Suns than Devin Booker has had.
Correct.
I mean, you can't deny they're the second seed in the NBA right now. They're above the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Blazers, everybody. I mean, yeah, they got the Western Conference. They're pretty much a lock for the second seed or worst at this point, and that's a shocking statement if you told me that this time last year. But here we are.
I mean, Chris Paul this year.
I think he warrants more than Steph to me.
I would say
I
so.
can agree with that. Yeah, Chris Paul this year is like just a carbon copy of what Jimmy Butler was last year. You take a team with a good young roster and you add that one guy with that great mentality that can give you 30, can give you 10 on any given night, and all of a sudden that team is gone from first round exit, but they're good and they're getting better, to this team might make it to the finals. And the Heat did make it to the finals last year, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Suns did that, and if Chris Paul played a similar role to what Jimmy Butler played last year for the Heat.
The thing, and I think it's three people. I think they do it just about better than anybody in the league right now. LeBron James, Jimmy Butler, Steph to a degree, and Chris Paul. I think all three of them got one thing, four of them got one thing in common, and that's leadership. You know what I mean? It's how you can talk to people and what you can get out of people, that can go miles. Like, if you look at anywhere those players get between the Steph, LeBron, Jimmy, and Chris Paul, wherever they done went, that team has gotten better. And then you look at what happened when they left, they evaporate. Everything, Jimmy Butler, he was good. Everywhere he went, Philly came up now, but they were all bad. We know the destruction LeBron leaves in his wake when he leaves the franchise. And we see what OKC was last year, and we see what they are now. Although I like Shea Gillis, he's shaking it a little bit. And we saw what the Suns did. Now, they showed out in the bubble 8-0, but they missed the playoffs. And that's what happened. And now look at them, second seed. Bet you they don't miss it this year. So I think leadership, that goes a ways, and I don't think anybody talks about that. At least they don't talk about it a lot. Those are great leaders. Yeah. And I think Chris Paul, I mean, he's the president of the players union. Yeah. So, because Kyrie's vice president. So yeah, if I wasn't giving it to Embiid, I would go for Chris Paul.
So that's a long shot, but you made a good case for him. I mean, I'd be willing to give him an underdog vote for sure.
So Wayne brings up leaders, and next Thursday is the NFL draft, full of potential quarterback leaders of teams. I think right now, 9 days before, Trevor Lawrence, safe to say he's going number 1. Zach Wilson, safe to say, number 2. After that, we don't know who. We know how Garrett feels about potentially Justin Fields later on. Iestyn, who is the third quarterback taken?
I mean, I'm really rooting for Justin Fields. I want it for him. He's backed by Josh Allen, and that's my boy. So I can't help but root for him, but I just don't see San Francisco going outside Mac Jones. They've clearly got a vested interest, and they went up to 3 for a reason. They could have targeted 4 or 5. I mean, Atlanta and Cincy both have more diverse needs. They're not looking for QBs right now. They would have been willing to trade back. So why do you shoot as high as 3 if you don't have a specific target in mind? And the only guy they've shown that significant interest in, to me, is Mac Jones.
I mean, I agree with that completely, because I have no clue what they're going to do. But with every single day that passes, it becomes more and more likely to me that Justin Fields is that pick at 3. I'm starting to see through that smoke. I feel like it's a smoke screen. I feel like Justin Fields. Plus, you already got Jimmy G. Let him learn. He can't step in day 1 and start. I know that for a fact. So let him learn in San Fran. I feel like that's a perfect pick. That's why I have them drafting in my mock draft that I'm working on right now. And I 100% am confident. If I was a betting man, I'm taking Justin Fields. But I can see an argument for a bunch of players because they've left the door open for so many options with that pick.
Yeah, I fully agree. Like I said, I'm rooting for Fields all the way. I just don't know how much of this, this Fields and Jones drama is smoke and how much is legit. I mean, it's so hard to track and trace and see where all this is coming from. But I'd be shocked if they picked outside Mac Jones. But if it's Justin Fields, then I think it's a brilliant pick.
I agree 100%.
Let me ask y'all something. Are y'all sure Trevor Lawrence is what y'all say he is? Or people say?
All right, Trevor Lawrence has that Andrew Luck, that John Elway, that he's going to come in and he's already got the hype. He's already done everything in college you're supposed to do. He's when you look at a number one pick in the draft, you think of guys like Trevor Lawrence. Will he have the best career out of all these quarterbacks? I don't know. Given the situations of the guys drafted behind him, I don't know. I think he will. Could I see Zach Wilson becoming the next Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes? He has that arm talent, yeah. Could I see somebody that goes later in the first round, even second or third round, having a better career just because of their situation? Yeah. But I think Trevor Lawrence is that guy. I mean, he hasn't proven himself to not be that guy at any stage in his career, in my opinion.
I mean, I think that Lawrence absolutely deserves to be the number one overall pick, and he's fully expected to be. The hype is legitimate. He's clearly the best quarterback prospect out there. I mean, even before the media declared him the clear number one, I mean, people were talking 2 years ago about, oh shit, okay, I guess we'll just tank for Trevor. That was a thing. Like as soon as the tank for Tua hype died, everyone immediately moved on to Trevor Lawrence. I think that this is the third straight year that we've had a clear number one best quarterback prospect, and you take the best prospect available, right? But it's the third straight year we've had a clear, definite number one pick as the quarterback in this draft, and it's been, Lawrence this year, Burrow last year, it was Murray the year before that, and you got to go all the way back to the 2018 draft to find a place where they didn't immediately know who QB1 was, and that was where the Browns taking first overall, they took Baker Mayfield, but that was a questionable pick at the time. People weren't sold. He wasn't a consensus number one. People thought it could be pretty much any of the agreed upon top three at the time. It could have been Donald. It could have been Rosen. Even it could have been Mayfield. I know it feels weird to say that in hindsight, but the hype at the time, Rosen. I mean, when the Bills traded up and took Josh Allen, everyone was shocked because Rosen was right there on the board. They probably would have been able to get him.
He was number one on a lot of mocks, yeah.
Yeah, everybody saw him having this dream career. I mean, no one even really thought about Lamar Jackson the same way. He was definitely the fourth or fifth best prospect at the time. He was considered it. But it's hard not to buy into the hype when there is such a consensus number one. Everyone agrees that Lawrence is the best in this draft. Everyone's already got him in Jacksonville. He's already donated to Jacksonville Jaguars charities right now. I saw a headline today. I mean, it's such a clear and definite thing. It seems like he's too good to fail, but the NFL is a completely different game from the college. There's no guarantee he's going to translate. I think that he has the best chance out of anybody in potentially the last two drafts at quarterback to make it in this league, but you don't know until he gets there.
I don't think he's going to do what people say. I mean, I think he'll go number one because, okay. Because people doing it, but here's why. Because I look at character, what you did in college, how you did in college, and where you're going. Because see, the thing, Clemson was straight. Clemson was juiced. You know what I'm saying? And he's not going to have Clemson talent in Jacksonville. You know what I mean? So I don't know how well you're going to be able to deal with adversity on a consistent basis. And if you go into Jacksonville, you're going to be dealing with adversity a lot. You're going to be down a lot. You ain't gonna be getting pulled out the third quarter like you would. You ain't gonna just be throwing just all you want to. You're not gonna be doing that. And so then when I look at that, I'm looking at the character, how you handle it. And then I look at some of them comments he had, which ain't dooming football ain't the end all to be all. Okay, that's fine. I understand why you said it. But there are people that football is their life. Football is all they got. That's all they have come from the gutter. And then I look at you and you say, oh, well, whatever. If I win the Super Bowl, great. We lose, cool, whatever. That's not a guy I really want in my foxhole because I put too much into this. You know what I'm saying? There's a locker room full of guys, whether on the two-way contracts, trying to make it from undrafted, practice squad people, putting their life on the line. Trevor's, he made it good one way or the other. He's fine. And so if he's getting down with Jacksonville, we can agree, they finna be down there. And I don't want a guy under center that's just like, well, we lose. Cool. I needed somebody that's going to bother them a little bit. I need that. So, yeah, he might be talented. And like you said, less than we don't know because, football and NCAA is two different things. But he's already said that if it don't work out, he's fine one way or the other. I just don't see that moxie, that drive, that try hard. And I'm not even sure. And will and how you do it matters. So I'm just not in love with Trevor like that. And people just in love. Like, it's not even a discussion. Like, it's not even a discussion. And I see people, Justin Fields was like number 2 before when we was watching football. Justin was like number 2. And now all of a sudden he's falling. And I'm just like, well, wait a minute. Did he throw an interception? Hold on. Now, y'all are way plugged into me, but did Justin Fields throw an interception yesterday? Did he fumble the ball? Did he cost him the game yesterday? Did it happen?
No, I have a weird feeling he didn't.
Right.
I mean, like, he's probably practicing. I'm sure he did throw one just by accident. I mean, it is practice.
Right. So I'm just saying, I get Trevor's gonna go number 1. That's fine, but I'm not sold on him, y'all. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. And I would be looking. I would be looking. And be honest with you, I think I would get Justin Fields number 1. I think I would.
Ooh, I mean, that's a bold take, and I said, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I love Justin Fields. I want him to succeed. I'm rooting for him, but
I need
as an Ohio State fan.
I need somebody that's gonna show me some fire, because you can be talented, but talent only gonna get yourself so far. Hell, Jameis Winston's talented. Is he on a Hall of Fame trajectory? You see what I mean? So all these guys are talented. I'm not saying he just finna be Jamarcus Russell either, but I just can't get there with Trevor. Just like after how I seen it and what he was with Clemson, because it's not gonna be there. That is not going. It's not gonna be like that. And where you get drafted matters. If he was going to something, like say he was going to like a Carolina or a Giants, a Tampa Bay, somewhere with some weapons, you're gonna work with something. But you going out there where they got a swimming pool in the front row. So.
Yeah, but that sells tickets. They need people to go to these games so that they can pay him this eventual 5th-year, $25+ million contract. And yeah, it looks bleak right now, but most of the first teams. So, okay, if he went to the Jets, just as bleak as Jacksonville. The 49ers, they had to trade way up, but I don't think that after having what they have invested in Garoppolo, they would have traded all the way up to 1 to get Lawrence. So every situation would have been bleak. It's not like he's going to stay at Clemson another year and risk injury to then still go number 1 to an equally bleak situation. So he might not have the intangibles from a leader's perspective, but when you look at the on the field stuff, you gotta be able to like live with that decision if he doesn't work out.
If I'm Jacksonville, and the more I'm talking about it with y'all, the more I'm gonna say it. So I'm gonna say it right here. If I'm Jacksonville, I'm trading for San Fran, the number 3 pick, and I'm gonna get Justin Fields.
I don't think Justin Fields can start day 1. I mean, there's no denying at his peak.
But he doesn't have to.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just saying this dude needs some time. He could arguably be, his ceiling is as good as anybody's in this draft. There's no denying that. But as an Ohio State fan, watching some of the games he's played, he needs things. People are going to figure it out, and he needs time to learn, to sit in the scheme. And that's why teams like San Fran can sit back at 3, and he doesn't need to see the field right away. And that's the best case for him. If Justin Fields is going to be the best player from this draft in terms of quarterbacks, it's going to be because he sat for a year and learned and got better in the NFL system and then rose. I mean, there's so many cases of people doing that and improving, and there's so many cases of it not working, but with Fields, it's going to work. If he finds success, it's going to be from learning before starting, from watching from the sidelines and making adjustments that he wasn't able to make in college.
See, okay, I agree that at first, even if you take him first overall, he wouldn't have to, you do want a guy who's going to start right away immediately. You want that faith and the confidence that he's going to succeed. And at worst, you want to put him on the field so we can get those reps. But I think that if he did get taken first overall by Jacksonville, they needed to pick up a veteran QB to fill the hole if he was going to sit on the bench, someone who he can actually learn from. But there's not exactly the cream of the crop available right now. And who does Jacksonville have behind what? I think they've got just Jake Luton at QB right now.
Is Gardner still over there, or is he gone?
Yeah, Minshew's still there.
Minshew, yeah. But I mean, Minshew's just as young. He's not going to provide any leadership. Neither is Luton. I mean, there are a couple guys available right now, and that's it. It's not a good list. They don't exactly have a plethora of talent available at the QB position.
I mean, if you got to get Trevor, go ahead and get him. But to me, I'm just not just in love with him like everybody else. Because it's not how he looked in Clemson. I don't think he just gonna set it off like that. I just don't. And maybe that's me. And I'm sure the sports wave will kill me for it, and that's fine because Lord knows I'll be slammed as it is. But I'm just not a Trevor Lawrence guy. I would get Justin Fields.
What about Trey Lance?
I don't know.
Looking to Trey Lance?
I know the name. I couldn't even tell you what school he played for. I ain't gonna tell you no lie.
Wow, you don't know about the pride of North Dakota State?
Oh, ain't that where homeboy went? Carson Wentz?
Yeah.
Huh.
QBU.
Well, I mean, he might be able to do something. So he ain't used to working with the cream of the crop. So I like that. I like that. So try him out, sure. I guess he'll be number.
Lance is going 4. There's gonna be 4 quarterbacks in the first 4 picks. I'm saying it right now. So when we can come on and do this later, and I can be wrong, I can get flamed for it. But if I'm right,
the guy to get to me,
yeah, Justin Fields
is him notwithstanding. But I'm looking at Kyle Pitts and the dude from what's his name, Joe Horn's son, the cornerback,
JC.
Yeah, I think people sleeping on him too. And Patrick Surtain. I think those are the 3 I really like the most. I like him, I like Patrick Surtain, and I like Kyle Pitts. And Justin Fields. So them 4 right there, them the ones I like the most. Trevor, I mean, yeah, God bless him. But it's just I need somebody that's gonna give me something. And I think those guys give me a little more.
Yeah, and I know who brings the fire, right?
Yeah, I need that brimstone. I need something. I don't need one way or the other because I put too much into this.
I mean, but did you really put that much into it? Like, they won 1 game. Like, they couldn't have put that much into it. But I get what you're saying, I get what you're saying, though. You're going to put a lot of time and resources and a lot of money into this guy.
Yeah. All right. Ask you something, Steven. All right. So let's say we co-hosting this podcast together. Let's just say we do that together. And then I just come in like, hey, Wayne, I need you to go ahead and bring it and holler because they say I be in here shouting. And I'm just like, I might shout. I may not. If we can get some guests, cool. It don't matter. What if I just sat here and just did this? Oh, yeah, cool, whatever. It ain't one way. If this podcast blow up, great. If it don't, whatever. I ain't gonna put into it because, I got other podcasts. I can go, play Mortal Kombat. I can go play 2K. I can go lay up with, oh, Lord have mercy. Anyway, I can, what I mean? So, yeah, I got other things to do. How are you going to want to do this show and be moving forward?
Yeah, okay. If you're comparing this to Trevor Lawrence, what he said was bad, but...
So you've heard it here first, guys, right? Wayne is not Trevor Lawrence.
No.
Although I haven't seen them in the same room together at the same time, so no guarantees.
So what you're saying is, Wayne, is that if podcasting was an NFL quarterback and you were in the draft this year, you would want to be Justin Fields more than Trevor Lawrence?
Absolutely.
So you're saying that if you were building a team right now, because Trevor Lawrence has all the talent in the world, the best ranked prospects into Andrew Luck, because he said he doesn't care if he wins or loses, you wouldn't take him just for that?
Because I can depend on you. If I'm looking at a quarterback and I need a quarterback, I need leadership. Because your talent, talent can only get you so far. But your work ethic and how you approach things and how you approach stuff, you good one way or the other because you got this nice wife, you got all this money, you get your family good. I don't need that. You got your little pretty little hair and everything. So I need something that's going to be tough, and I need somebody that's the leadership, somebody that's going to, get up in guys. Because, you know what I mean? I need somebody who's going to do something in the locker room when we're feeling down and defeated, after we take a loss, after a heartbreaking loss, and we lose to a Division 4 or something like that. I don't need somebody who's going to be like, all right, cool, you know. And maybe he could be, and he had to try to, you know, counteract it so he could try to do a little rah-rah, but you say what's in your heart, and that's in his heart. So, I mean, you can't, you being able to throw the football 60 yards does nothing for you bringing the morale up. That does nothing. Because there's going to be a day where your wide receiver can't hold on to the ball for whatever reason. It's going to be a day your team is down. It's going to be a time you down. It's going to be a time they take the passing game away from you. Then what do? How you going to keep them guys motivated? How you going to make them believe? How you going to make your foxhole do something, make them play better than what they really are? If you a leader, I need that. I need that. I need to be able to run for a wall for my quarterback. I need that. And I don't know if Trevor has that. And based on what I heard, he doesn't. And if I'm looking at leadership, that's what it's about. To me, as a quarterback, yeah, I'd like to throw and all that in a pretty pass, but every throw is not going to be a 60-yard bomb. That's not the NFL.
So the last thing I wanted to ask you, Wayne, before I let you guys go, Justin Fields having to not play his first year at Georgia and then transferring, that doesn't say anything bad to you about his leadership?
Nope.
I mean, it's his first year. I'd honestly say give him a pause. I mean, what were you doing at 19? I mean, how was he in Taco as a Taco Bell?
Obviously, now looking at it later on in life, he was obviously the best quarterback that they had, so he obviously would have played. But the fact that he needed to get out so desperately, that doesn't concern you at all.
Oh.
I mean, you want to look for the best opportunity for your career. I mean, if he goes to a place where he knows he can win and he's willing to, you know, he's gonna win. He's gonna be willing to run through a wall for those guys, but they need to be willing to do the same to him.
So yeah, it don't bother me in the slightest. If I'm Jacksonville, I want Justin Fields over Trevor.
Okay.
So that is the last thought that I will leave you guys with. A big thank you to Wayne Diesel, Iestyn Harris, Garrett Cowdrey. A big week coming up next week. A lot of draft stuff we are pumping out. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Wavelengths Pod, at the Sports Wave Official. Full episodes on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Thanks to everybody for joining. Hope everyone stays safe. Yeah, and have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yeah.